of Trustees for the Harris County Department of Education is now convened on.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
Thank you both. All right, we will now move to agenda item 4, which is open forum. This is for public participation, and this is for any citizen who wishes to speak may do so by completing a participation request card available at the board meeting at least 10 minutes prior to the regularly scheduled meeting. I've been informed that we do not have any, so we will move on to agenda item 5, which is reports and presentations. All right, so we will now move on to agenda item 5A, which is the employee of the month. That will be, the introduction will be done by our Executive Director of Human Resources, Natasha Truitt.
Good afternoon. Today I'm excited to introduce our Employee of the Month for December. The Employee of the Month program is designed to encourage recognition of HCDE employees who willingly take initiative beyond regular assignments, demonstrate a high quality of work and commitment to completing duties, work as a member of a team, and uses creativity, innovation, and collaboration to enhance performance. Our December Employee of the Month is Mary Doyle Glover, a case employee who has been with HCDE since 2005 and has a long history with local nonprofits. Ms. Glover works as a resource manager and leads a team of 4 staff members to ensure grant funds are dispersed to the community to support local after-school programming. This summer, after completing the successful implementation of the brand new County Connections grant projects, Ms. Glover turned her attention to managing the City Connections RFP process. Dr. Lisa Carruthers, the director of CASE, shared that Ms. Glover had long stated that CASE needed a new system to accept grant applications from potential after-school providers. So with the support of Dr. Carruthers, Ms. Glover worked with HCDE Purchasing to learn more about the bidding system used by Choice Partners and Purchasing to procure goods and services. Ms. Glover talked with the bidding system developers and created a new system for CASE to use to collect incoming grant applications for the City Connections funding. This was the very first time CASE had ever used the bidding system in this manner. So Ms. Glover had to not only learn the bidding system, she had to create information and training to educate potential after-school providers on how to use the system to submit their new grant applications. Within 6 to 8 weeks, Ms. Glover lost all 3 of her full-time coordinators as they went to work for other agencies. We hate when that happens. And her administrative assistant resigned after having a baby. In addition to working without any HCDE staff, however, there was one temp that she was able to use. Ms. Glover was faced with many changes in procurement which demanded the development of a new process. The City Connections RFP was already live when new state laws took effect related to school districts purchasing goods and services and changes to background checks for direct service providers. As a result of these changes, Ms. Glover learned that the standard HCDE vendor packet was changing, meaning more forms needed to be completed than originally explained in the RFP process, and HCDE was implementing a new process for background checks. So Ms. Glover modified the RFP process to adhere to new state laws, communicated all of these changes to the RFP applicants, as well as developed new internal systems to process the applications. Ms. Glover was able to successfully coordinate the entire grant process for the City Connections project to ensure over 80 applications were comprehensively reviewed, properly scored, and notified all awarded applicants of grant funding. Dr. Carruthers credits the success of the project to Ms. Glover's dedication, her ability to identify and solve problems before they arise, and her creativity. I will now like to share with you a video produced by our Communications Division featuring Miss Glover.
I would say that I'm in community resources, right? Even though my title hasn't always reflected that, I've always worked with the community, work with nonprofits, work with vendors that go out to after-school programs. And whether it's, one task or another, it's always related to community and making sure that the community has what they need to serve the youth all over Harris County.
Mary's commitment to the field is amazing, and to the client group, especially with the nonprofits. The mountains she has climbed to make sure these funds have happened, she deserves some recognition, and I'm very excited that she was selected and that we get to recognize her.
I met my husband in art school, and that was the beginning. We started in Tampa, Florida. We went to school there, and after college, we decided to move. I got my degree in fine art, and I also was in a dance company in high school and in college. So the arts is definitely part of me. I got my creative side from my mother and my father. They're both very creative people. My father was an engineer, a creative problem solver, and my mother very artistic. My mother's been an inspiration to me personally and in my job, in the way she does things just on her own, creativity. She is a lifelong learner and teaches me to keep learning new things every day. We were very pleased when Erica Lee Carter contacted us and said the county might be interested in providing a similar model to City Connections during the summer.
Mary was instrumental in the development of County Connections. She thought through our target populations, how we would make this accessible. And just seeing those youth, seeing those students with their teachers in the summertime, still having experiences when they'd been in virtual schooling, made it all worth it.
So over the years, I've built a lot of relationships with different nonprofits, and my relationship with Mecca started when I first moved here in the 80s. It was one of the first arts venues that I was introduced to with the arts background. It was very interesting to me. But I've always come back to Mecca because of what they provide to the community. And it's not just one thing. It's arts education, but it's also support, social services, making sure families have what they need.
So being able to work with Mary and her staff made it a little bit more easy to be able to accomplish the goal that we are looking to meet and to support the community in various ways. We've gotten funding for the arts education that we provide, as well as the tutoring programs that we support. So it's been an immense help.
I like CASE because we do a lot of different things. It's not the same job ever. And because we do have this connection with the city, I go all over the county and I've seen so much interesting after-school programming. Each of those nonprofits, those after-school programs, they're really part of the history of this whole city. And so to see what they're doing in each of those scenarios and how they're serving the kids, that is what is really interesting to me about Case for Kids. I'm just happy that I was chosen, but I feel like I represent a lot of people that deserve the same honor.
So it's my pleasure to present a certificate to Mary Glover, our Employee of the Month for December. Please come up, Mary. And now we'll have a picture with the board, please.
Just in the middle, about right there is good. Perfect. Everybody kind of squeeze in. There you go. Perfect. Like this one. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 3, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you again, and congratulations, Ms. Glover. We appreciate all that you do, and thank you very much. Absolutely, absolutely deserved. And with that, we will now move on to agenda item 5B, which is the superintendent monthly report. So Superintendent Colbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Only a few things to update you on. First, each of y'all have a stack of HCDE's Christmas cards this year. We have 3 different cards. It was hard to choose a winner this year. You know, every year I get the chance to choose which image we're going to use from one of our students to represent HCDE's Christmas card. And this year was tough. So the first card that you see with Santa riding the horse is actually from Christopher Morrison, who y'all have met at our groundbreaking ceremony. He actually did the portrait of me. So this is, once again, this young man is displaying his talents. The second card, let me see if I can find that, is from a young lady at one of our Head Start campuses, I believe. No, it's on the back. It's on the back. AB East, I'm sorry, Taylor Gaines. And so this is also a fantastic card. And then the final one is from one of our students at our Compton Head Start, which is just awesome. So y'all got that stack, do what you want with it. It'd be nice to send it out to some of the people or our stakeholders in the community. Next, we've got our annual activities that are coming up at this time of the year. And I'm gonna miss a few of them, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. Every year we have a pretty big production that's done over at AB East. I believe it's on December 15th from 11:30 to 1. If you have time in your schedule, that is a show you absolutely must see. And it is entertaining. You will hear every brand of music that you can think of, and the amount of effort that is put into the production of that presentation is just fantastic. But the bigger thing is just celebrating the spirit of our students on that campus. So make sure you check that out. And then finally, next week, y'all have this card that I believe is at your station for the Bates Collision car giveaway. Now, folks, this is a family who owns Bates Collisions. There's 2 locations, the one in Channelview and one in Baytown. And they have given away, I think, Mr. Parker, over 30, how many? Over 30. They're up to like 36 cars. And so they take a car that has been totaled. Their employees will volunteer their time to completely redo the entire car inside and out. And they will do it after work, not during work. They stay late to fix this car. There's all kinds of surprises in the car for the little ones, but they also, the parent will get free insurance for, I think, 6 months. They get a gas card. It is one of the most moving ways and best ways to start your holiday is to see a family in need who's willing to try to do better for themselves. They have to submit an application and write an essay to qualify for this vehicle. And it's just impactful. And I can tell you last year when we went to this, it was a father who received the car, which is the first time I've been going to this for 7 years. I'd never seen a dad actually win the car. But he gave an incredible speech, and he just broke down, and I'll just never forget his daughter that he was holding, Destiny. Journey, is that her name? Journey. Patted him on the back and said, "It's gonna be all right, Daddy." I was like, and that's when I started crying. So this is awesome, and you can't find a better family with the Bates family who give this car away. So please, trustees, if you have an opportunity, make your way out there. Typically the mayor from Baytown comes out there. I think the baseball team who also buy the gifts and stuff. So that's just an awesome event. The only other thing I would say is that I appreciate each and every one of our board members, and I wish y'all a happy and safe holiday and look forward to seeing y'all when we get back. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Colbert. And yes, Trustee Dick and I went to one last year, and yeah, it was very moving. So if anybody has a chance to go to either one of these, I would definitely suggest going out. It'll pull your heartstring a little bit. You might need to bring a handkerchief, but you know, it's a good time. Very, very good, very moving. So absolutely. All right. We will now move on to agenda item 5C, which is our annual division update on the Center for Safe and Secure Schools. This will be done by Director Julia Andrews.
Good afternoon, everyone. President Norris, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Colbert. I'm Julia Andrews, and I will be presenting our year report from the Center for Safe and Secure Schools. First, I would like to introduce my team. We are a mighty team of 4, now 3. We'll go back to 4 in just a little bit. Sierra received a promotion a few weeks ago, and she's the new principal in Aldine ISD, so we're really excited about that. So today we have Janice Awalabi and Gil Gaona. And our new addition will start after the holiday break. The Center for Safe and Secure Schools was established in 1999 at the request of our county superintendents after the Columbine shooting. And so the center seeks to find new, innovative opportunities to continue to build safer and more secure learning environments. So a few of the services we provide: state-mandated facilities, safety and security audits for schools and their facilities, ongoing opportunities to train threat assessment, intruder, active shooter, restorative discipline, equity, implicit bias, trauma resilience, youth mental health first aid. And so the center is kind of split into 2. We have the physical side, so that's all of our threat assessments, our active shooter, our audits, and then our emotional safety side. And that's like our SEL, restorative, trauma, and we're diving into looking at some equitable practices. And so now I have a brief video to highlight our year in advance, our year in review, excuse me.
When it comes to childhood education, nothing is more important than creating a safe and secure environment for teachers to teach and students to learn. That's the mission of the Center for Safe and Secure Schools. Our center also uses an application to collect and report data. Through this tool, campuses and districts can evaluate trends and understand their strengths and weaknesses. The information empowers them to make effective changes. The Center for Safe and Secure Schools is creating physically and emotionally safe environments for students to learn and for everyone to enjoy.
Our center has a variety of supports available to each of our Harris County school districts. Not only are we an excellent resource for physical school safety, but keep us in mind for your emotional safety needs as well. At the center, we are committed to providing research-driven and responsive support that aims to make an impact on teachers' actions to influence student well-being and school safety. We support district and campus needs with training, resources, and feedback, all tailored for your unique community needs.
Equity can't happen by mistake. It has to be intentional, it needs to be planned.
Over the last year and a half, we've seen so many different needs coming from our school districts, coming from our community, talking about equity. We thought it would be a great time to begin the work in equity. So walking the walk and talking the talk of equity, digging down deep into the frameworks of equity, bringing in experts who understand the different components of equity and equitable practices and how we can begin to develop equitable policies.
So if it's going to be increasing in designing high quality professional development around racial equity, then you build that plan out.
Everyone in our community, especially Harris County, to be successful. And I wanted to be that resource. So if school districts need some support with restorative practices, with school safety, with emotional safety, I wanted all of that to encompass this week's boot camp.
Students will have the opportunity to learn the foundation and the basic skills it takes to actually facilitate a restorative circle. It's very different from traditional classroom practices. It really gives students autonomy and agency and allows them to share parts of themselves that they may not always share in a typical classroom setting.
I got to a little bit know more about them, because I really don't talk to some of these people like Miguel. I got to know him a little bit more and what he was thinking and what he feels about stuff.
Thank you. And so I have a little bit more. We, last year, were in 23 school districts in Harris County and 2 out of county. This year, I'm happy to report we're in all districts supporting except 1. And so that's a huge change for us over the last few years, so I'm really excited about that. A few of our training topics, I won't go over all of them. You saw them in the video. One that's really important right now is active shooter, and then our threat assessment training along with digital threat assessment. So we will have a free training provided by one of our grants on January 14th and 15th, and that's gonna go over our digital threat assessment trainings for schools, leaders, and the community. So we're really excited about that. Professionals served in county 4,166, which leads to about 32,924 indirect students served, and then out of county 112. We have some people all the way as far as Louisiana that were able to attend some of our virtual trainings and abroad over the last year when we went virtual due to COVID. We have a few collaborative partners listed here: Mental Health of America, United Way, Crime Stoppers. We work very closely now with Harris County and the City of Houston Emergency Management. So when we've had weather threats or we are on those calls along with Mr. Colbert so he can make informative decisions about school openings and school closings. And then we're working closely with Sheriff Ed Gonzalez to reunify our juveniles in the juvenile detention center and downtown and the one in Katy. So we're really excited about that initiative and being able to go back and work with those young juveniles in the facilities once they're all the way safe to be open. So that's a little bit about our trainings and offerings. Our trends and challenges this year, meeting the safety needs for all of our districts with the limited staff. Like I said, we are a mighty team of 4, but we are doing our best to make sure we are the #1 resource when they look to school safety. Expanding our offerings, COVID taught us that we can do a lot more virtually, and so we were able to pivot all of our in-person trainings to virtual trainings and webinars. And then third, continuing to partner with statewide and national organizations to provide trainings for districts. Our client satisfaction rate is 99.4% for our surveys with professional development. We are really excited about that. Our goal this year is to be at 100%. And then a few of our goals moving forward: provide services designed to highlight our best practices in school safety and multi-hazard emergency planning, continuing to supply training and services for educators, highlighting best practices, build and maintain client relationships through delivery, quality, and professional development. And then we also want to make sure we take care of our internal divisions and provide strong support for them. Are there any questions?
Trustee Dick.
One is, Ms. Andrews, I appreciate all the hard work you've done. I mean, you clearly did a knockout job, and I appreciate all of the hard work that the department has done. But going to what I don't want to have happen is that sometimes people use words and they distract from what actually is happening, and they're more focused on the terminology of stuff than actually the good work that's happening. So I say that because what I'm afraid of, and I cringe kind of going into this, but I'm afraid of that whenever you say an equity boot camp, I know we're doing good stuff and we're helping school districts, but we don't want it to look like something that it's not. we don't want maybe extremists thinking that it's something involving critical race theory, which is absolutely not. And I know we aren't, and I know we're not in any way involved with that. But is there any way maybe we could, at least, look at maybe the different, maybe terminologies, maybe an inclusion boot camp or something like that? That's
Yes.
just my humble opinion.
Okay, yes.
That's,
Understood, yes.
Thank you.
Any other? Oh, Superintendent Colbert.
Before I want to compliment the department, I think we need to be conscious of terminology, but we also need to be honest about it too.
Absolutely.
And so if some of the things that we're talking about are in fact equity, and if we look into for the source and we can't find a word better than that, then I think we go with what the best word is for the service that we're trying to provide. I do understand that we need to avoid landmines. And we've gotten a few of those even with the training. The issue that you bring up got brought to our attention even this summer, where people read what it was called and thought it was something completely else. So
We don't want
to that point, you have a very valid point with that. I'm just saying publicly that we're going to try to do what's right.
Absolutely.
But we need to be mindful, and we'll be tactical about all those things moving forward. And the point that you've made, I mean, Julia, basically when that happened this summer, it blindsided us. Like we never thought, we hadn't even conceived of that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow, I guess you could read it that way, I guess. And it was like, we didn't know what that was all about. But because of the way things are now, we need to be more mindful of that. So anyways, but I was going to say some other stuff too. I just like I love our Safe and Secure Schools division. They did something that was very, very unique several years ago. And I was reluctant to it. This is the first time I'm telling you this, and I'm saying it publicly.
Okay.
Restorative practices. I thought, with public ed, we have a lot of issues that are fly by night. They go by. Bullying used to be a theme for about 10 years, and then it faded away. And so, I was thinking from the wrong mindset at the time, just thinking about audits and doing active shooter training and this, that, and the other. But the thing that appealed to me about the restorative practices is the proactive component of it, where we're getting down to the source or the cause of some of these problems that manifest themselves into an active shooter. I was happy to find out there were many superintendents thinking the same way and being very receptive to it. One of the things we do at HCDE, we talk about areas of space that we share versus space that we own. And I can say with restorative practices, we are certainly in a position of owning that because there's not a lot of people doing it. And so I've been really surprised and delighted at how much momentum and how receptive ISDs have been to that training. And I think that speaks to the diversity and the agile and nimbleness of our Safe and Secure Schools division. So kudos to you and your team.
Thank you.
And I guess to that point, a little bit to that point, I was going to ask, because I saw you said emotional safety needs, and I was just curious, is that on the front end as well? Because I know that I know a lot of it has to do with like active shooter is a real thing, but I'm wondering, is that a front end? As in, like, I know restorative practices typically, as Superintendent Colbert mentioned, are front issues. Like, if you have a bullying issue, do you resolve it before a kid decides to go to the very extreme? I wasn't sure if that was a before.
So emotional safety is before, during, and after. So when there was an active shooter at the charter school, we were prepared to go out and offer support, but that was the middle part and the end part. And so the beginning part would be, yes, like your restorative, your SEL, your youth mental health first aid, to try to avoid those. But we also go out when there is an active shooter to provide support to our districts and our charter schools. So the middle and the end, so all the way through.
No, thank you. I was just looking for that clarification, but awesome work, clearly needed. I know last week there was the incident in Michigan, and this seems to be one pretty regularly. So I definitely think that this department and your department specifically is on the front end, and anything that you're able to determine is working. I think the nation needs to hear it, because it is clearly a issue that is not limited to Texas. It's an issue that is a nationwide issue, very, very much across the nation. So keep doing the good work, and if you need anything else from us to help further your mission, we would love to hear it.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will now move on. We'll now move on to agenda item 5D, which is the annual division update for Case for Kids from Dr. Lisa Carruthers, who's the director.
Good afternoon, trustees. I'm excited to present our annual report for Case for Kids, because what happens between school and home matters. We, as you heard in our presentation, Mary ended with, we do a lot of things, and I'm hoping today in the presentation it'll be clear the diverse way we function here at Harris County Department of Education. Last year, we served over 12,000 students. We worked with parents and volunteers, 1,196, and we funded school districts and nonprofits, 161 of them. So we are a broker. We leverage funds and disperse funds into the community through collaboration. We cannot, in our staff of now 34, serve 12,000 kids alone. This 34 full-time staff is actually an increase of 12. We did get a TA grant to implement Cycle 11 21st Century funding, which allowed us to bring on 12 positions. And so representing one of our newest employees, Melvin Mead. Stand. So Melvin is a regional coordinator and one of our newest hires. So inside the 10 new site, there's 10 grants on this, there's 10 sites on this grant and 10 site coordinators, but we made 2 a higher level so that they could provide regional oversight. And so we're very happy to have Melvin represent that. But as you know, Mary's team had some turnover too. So we have 60% of our 34 full-time employees are either new or are doing a new job. And so this is actually a really fun time. It's really exciting because it's like so much new energy. And I think a couple of people said it's such a difficult last 2 years. This is to me like turning and opening my excitement again all over again. We still need to hire some part-time people that want to work in after-school programs. That's 30 plus. We're only sitting around 10. Please send them our way. All right, so our service areas, we have 5 different service areas. We have quality support, which is our professional development, comprehensive programs, digital badging, project-based learning, and resource management. And so each of these functions very differently, and all the staff are deployed amongst these divisions. So I'm starting with our project-based learning team, which is the one you probably know the most. You've been out to our events. This is All Earth EcoBot Challenge and case debates and our Kids Day series. So this is when Kids Days are when we partner with a corporation and we do lessons inside the program that align with their industry. And at the end, we get to go into the corporation's headquarters and meet professionals. The funding that we get through that is primarily investments from Harris County Department of Education and through our Education Foundation, and this is how we work very closely with them. All Earth EcoBot Challenge launched December 4th, so we are very excited about a new year for EcoBot. And case debates, this year already has 15 schools and we've already engaged 200 students. Tony Candace, stand up please, is our debate coordinator. And she hosted this Saturday our second annual debate tournament in conjunction with HISD, which was our first in-person kid event since COVID hit. She's still here. Yay. All right. We also have our comprehensive. So comprehensive is Monday through Friday, 15 hours a week. We get two main funding streams. We have 21st Century funded through TEA. It's federal funds that goes through, administered through TEA. And then we have our tax base, which it's granted out through Partnership Project. We have Brandy here today to talk about, not to talk about, sorry, you don't get to talk, to represent our Partnership Project. We have 22 programs that she oversees. And this money, actually, this tax investment, for every dollar that we grant out, we get about $1.80 in return from federal funds to make our professional development happen, which is our quality support team. So we do professional development. We have all these fabulous resources. CJ, your team got to use some of these resources yesterday. We get these kits and education curriculum out to the community. We check it out, and we have coaching, modeling. We partner with the United Way, as well as we have a podcast. Mike Wilson takes his research and hosts a podcast merging research in the field as well as the providers in that field. And oh, I need to go backwards because I skipped one. Our 21st Century, again, a new model, we have two grants. One is where the school districts administer the grant, and that is our Cycle 10. There's 10 campuses there. And with Cycle 11, we administer the grant, again, Melvin and his new friends. But part of this forced us to have a restructure because in 10, we don't hire the site coordinators. In 11, we do. So we have a new manager that has been promoted. It was already with us, but she's been promoted manager to manage Cycle 11, and that is Jasmine Castleberry. Okay. Oops, I am somehow, what have I done? Technology, help me. And our, finally, is our city connections. Okay, you're back to it. One more. City connections and county connections. So we honored Mary today. So Mary Doyle Glover, and one more round of applause. This is funding that goes to projects. So whereas comprehensive after-school programs is 21st Century, most of these are projects. 1 day a week, I come and do fencing inside an after-school program. I do robotics, I do tutorials. These are augmentation programs, and again, this is why the numbers get so high. We have just finished, we're in the process of getting all those 88 city grantees funded and getting their checks hopefully before Christmas break, but now they all have to get their fingerprints done. But we are still working with the county to secure. They tested us out this summer, and it went very well, and they funded over 80 organizations themselves, and we're hoping to be included in their funding, and we will hopefully be going to their board, their council in Commissioner's Court in early January or February. So we need your help. We need you to spread the word. You guys have been asking us for information, and so inside your kit you have some maps, that handouts. These are our process for mapping where things are. I know, Mr. Cantu, you've been asking us where the programs are located. And so these are the different programs where they're located, thanks to Research and Evaluation, who has done some mapping for us. And on the back is the list of the organizations. With the redrawing of district lines, and if we get summer funding for the county, we really need outreach to get these organizations to understand where and how to apply. So we will be sending out promotional materials in the next few weeks. Everybody's going to have to get our funding. They will have to be, we're saying by Valentine's Day, getting our bid. And they will come to you when you come back from spring break, and then we would be able to start allocating funds for the county. So we will be coming back from the holidays, getting people in the bid. And all these organizations, we have information, but there's a lot of organizations that you come in contact with. So we want to make sure you have materials, and we'll be getting that out right in January, because if they're not in our February bid, they can't access funds. And so we say, by Valentine's Day, because we love you. All right, and then finally, we're doing digital badging. We are still seeking a manager. We had a manager that's retired, and so we're seeking a manager here in this position. We hope to have an offer next week, and being able to move and partner with the city and other other organizations to get this Level Up digital badging initiative, and it'll be our ability to serve the older youth. COVID continues to hurt our numbers. It's hurting our nonprofits and our for-profits that work in this field. We're about to launch a new survey to see, we've done 2 surveys so far to see the organizational health of the organizations that serve our kids and how long they're going to last in this difficult situation. And we're getting ready to launch phase 3. And so the initial survey, they didn't think if COVID didn't go away, they weren't, a third of them weren't sure they'd make it to this point in time and survive as an organization. So it's time for us to reach back out to them. And even though ESSER 3 has money that is specifically dedicated to after school, it's sitting inside those districts. And so it's been difficult to get it past the districts. And that's me.
Any questions? Trustee Dick?
So what opportunities do you see with nonprofits? You said that they were struggling. Do you see potential for opportunities for us to grow, assist?
So so the funds that we level for training and professional development are a big service. So they don't have to pay for that. We offer that for free, and that helps them in their organizational budgets. The city and the county are really the key players that disperse funds. And the city and the county, if the county comes in again, that will mean we are investing about $1.2 to $1.4 million into that community if the county does come in again for investments at the same level. And we'd like to see that level go up at the city. The city invests $550,000, and then the council members can go into their discretionary fund, and some of them do and some of them don't, but we believe that $550 might need to start. It's been around for 6 years now, so it might be time to grow that $550.
Superintendent Colbert?
I'd just like to say, Case has done a fantastic job. If I had to use the analogy of HCDE kind of being a football team, and you've heard me say this, Case would be like the safety. And the safety is a cross between a defensive back and a linebacker. And so to catch anybody that might slip through. And so anytime new initiatives come our way, one of the first divisions I ever think of is Case. And so when Commissioner Cagle came to us about Huddle, I didn't think of the special schools. I didn't think of TLC. I thought of Case, and they did an extraordinary job creating Case debates. Yeah. EcoBots, when we went through a transition with EcoBots, I think you remember that, Trustee Dick. There are thousands of kids waiting to have their robotics competition because we were moving in a different direction. And I think y'all just had months, basically the initial year, to set that up and take it to the next level. So I just want to give kudos to you and your team, and I appreciate the role that you serve and your team serves for HCDE, and keep on doing the good work that you've been doing.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, thank you once again, Dr. Carruthers. I got a chance to do this last EcoBots, and I had a great time. So another note to the board, the rest of the board: if you get a chance to do the EcoBots challenge one of these years, get it done, because it's a great event. So absolutely. All right. We will now move on to agenda item 5E, which is other reports from board members concerning attendance or participation in board or HCDE related conferences, events, activities, or committees, accolades for a HCDE staff member or other deserving person. Do we have any report, anything to note from any of the board? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 5F, reports from board committee chairs. Any reports from committee chairs? Trustee Brown?
Good afternoon, everyone. A friendly reminder, we have our policy council meeting December 14th at 5:30 p.m. So with the Christmas right around the corner, I'm sure Ms. Peacock and the Head Start Policy Council team will have a meeting that's fun and festive. So come hang out with us if you want and be jolly.
All right. Any other Committee reports? Seeing none, we will move to agenda item 5G, monthly financial reports. That will be from Dr. Jesus Amezcua.
Good afternoon. The first report is the financial highlights as of November 30th. All our information is posted on our website. Our balance sheet as of November 30th, we have assets of $23,375,163, liabilities of $2,225,664, and equity of $23,375,164, with $1,086,300 appropriated for the current year through budget amendments. Our fund balance as of November 30th, again, I should say 30th, not 31st, $26,827,266. We will update that at the January board meeting once we bring that to present the financial statements, the annual audit at that time. Our indicators for financial strength, fund balance, general fund expenditures to ratio, 95%, same as last year. At the same time, working capital, we're at 21 million as of November 30th. Unassigned fund balance ratio, 54%, a little bit higher than last year. Debt to income ratio, we haven't made payments so far. Our first payment for debt will be until February. Tax revenue to total revenue, it's 2%. We have received $228,576 in taxes. We will make probably the highest revenue in the month of December. So next month, or rather January, when we present, we'll see a lot of the revenues being presented and being reported. Indirect cost to tax ratio, 4%. Fee for service ratio, we're at 40%, similar to last year at 45%. Our growth ratio, again, is still starting slow because of the COVID situation. We are at minus 16% versus minus 11% the year before. Our fund balance activity, in September we had budget amendments of $1,086,300. Our revenues or inflows for the year to date, we're at $7,153,353 for the general fund, and overall we're at 10% budget to actual. In terms of budget to actual as of November, general fund we're at 23%, and that includes encumbrances as well for capital projects. So you'll see some expenditures in capital projects fund, but the majority is encumbrances or contracts that have been signed and set aside. Our COVID budget to actual expenditures as of November 30th, we have in the general fund $526,173, and in the Head Start grant available of $1,483,610. Donations report for the month of November, $21,274.56. Those are donations from divisions in Choice Partners, Technology, and Head Start that received some donations. Our amount of the certified values as of November 30th, we're at $510 billion. There's still about $10 billion left to be certified, and we project to end the year at $520 billion at the end of the fiscal year. So if that number holds true, then we'll either receive 41,722 more or a reduction of 75,306, depending on the certification of those values. Collection year to date, we're at 0.9% year to date. And payments made to the tax office and the appraisal district year to date are 188,459. Again, we're slightly ahead than a year ago. 0.9. Again, most of our revenues will come in the month of December and January. Our disbursements for the month were $3,830,509. All the 331 checks, 873 transactions, and 6 transfers. All the detail is posted and also available in your packet. Segment division for educational certification, we are at a benefit variance of minus 1,417. Records management, a negative 328,399. Therapy subsidy of 910,009, and schools of 1,022,658. And choice continues strong at 48% ratio, benefit variance of 591,340. Amendments for the month only for grants, 160,211, and that's to increase the placeholder for the American Rescue or COVID, 160,211 additional monies that we receive for Head Start. Foundation, as of November 30, the same equity of 1,048,506. Activities, there's only a $30 operating charge for the foundation for the month of November. And then in the lease and revenue projects update, we continue with the small business program for construction. We will update that once we sign the contract with the Hyponist as well and include it on there. All the ABEs has been awarded, adult ed has been awarded, Hyponist is pending contract signature, and Irvington pending architect assignment. We have still available $49,367,854. ABE's project is at 4% year to date. Project to date. Irvington renovation, 4% project to date. Hyponist, 6% project to date. And adult ed building, 6% over project to date. Overall, we're at 5%. We've spent 5% of our funds on the capital improvement program. One of the updates in capital projects underway, on December 7th, we closed on the 619 King property for adult ed. So that's already been recorded. And that's the report for the month of November. Any questions before going to the investment side?
Any questions? No. Okay. Go ahead.
On the investments, again, our reports are posted on our website, and the total portfolio, we have $73,328,687. Public Facilities Corporation of $30,373,549, and HCDE portfolio for $42,955,139. All our funds are in investment pools, whether it be Lone Star, Texas Class, Texas Star, or Tex Pool, and a little bit on Chase Bank. Our PFC portfolio is primarily in Tex Pool and Bank of Texas funds, 97 to 3%. And comparison from a year ago, we're at plus $41,454,444 portfolio because of our bonds change from a year ago. All our funds are overnight. We're earning 1,648. Year-to-date earnings 2,496, and earning 0.023. And the rate's still pretty low. We're in the very lowest rate at 0.01 to 0.04. Any questions that you may have?
When's the rates going up? 0.01?
Mm-hmm.
Good time to borrow. Very, very good time to borrow.
All right. Any questions for Dr. Mescla? All right. We'll move on to agenda item 5H, presentation of Certificate of Excellence Award from the Governmental Financial Officers for the fiscal year 2019 to 2020.
The department received a Certificate of Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting. This is the highest level of recognition from for a local government, and in terms of financial reporting, this is the 19th year in a row that we received this award, and like to present it, and you have a copy. We haven't received the plaque yet, but we will bring it to the board as soon as we receive it.
How many years, Dr.
19.
Messer? You said 10.
19.
Oh, 19. 19 years
19.
in a row. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Very good.
Thank you.
19 years in a row. We're going to ask some of our trustees, how old were you 19 years ago? I was quite a bit young. Trustee Brown was, I think, in middle school. Good deal, though. Very good deal. All right. So we will now move on to agenda item 6, the action item, the consensus agenda for action item 6. Is there any items on the consensus agenda that any trustee wants to be moved? It's a pretty short one. So seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the action item.
So moved.
All right, moved by trustee Brown. Is there a second? Seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes unanimously. On to agenda item 7, the non-consensus agenda. Agenda item 7A, consider approval to purchase Microsoft campus license agreements from CWG in the amount of $276,529. Moved by trustee Cantu. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes unanimously. All right, agenda item 7B, consider approval of agreement with Tesco Furniture Sales in the amount of $477,915.93. Is there a motion? Trustee, motion proposed by trustee Brown. Is there a second? Seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move for a vote. All in favor? Passes unanimously. We'll now move on to agenda item 8, executive session. Under the executive, and the executive session is actually going to be held in the conference room, so everybody else can stay here today if you want. We'll move to the conference room for the first time in a while.
Okay.
So under the Texas Government Code, pursuant to any and all purposes permitted by section 551.01 to 551.084, including but not limited to 551.071 and 074, we will now move into executive session at 2:03 p.m. PM, we have just one agenda item 10, possible action regarding superintendent's contract. I'll now entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 7th Amendment to the superintendent's employment contract as discussed in executive session.
It's been moved by trustee Brown, seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will move it for a vote. All in favor? Passes unanimously. All right, that takes us to agenda item 11, discussion and possible action regarding future agenda items. Any potential agenda items? Doesn't look like any. Seeing none, we will move to end I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Brown, seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes unanimously. That will conclude us at 4:14 p.m.